Hello, welcome back to the Middle Ground, space for moderate political analysis. By myself, I'm Elizabeth. I have over 10 years of political analysis domestically in the US as well as internationally. Today I wanted to come a little bit back local again and cover some Georgia races that may not get as much attention or people may not be as informed about. Georgia politics have gained the attention of the natural interest in the last several years. We've had several very publicized races in Georgia that have gained national interest between Stacey Abrams, Majorie Taylor Green, Karen Handel's race, and Congressional District. We've had a lot of attention. We've had some very loud public figures that people have noticed, but there are some congressional races going on now that people may not have noticed because they're a little bit under the radar. And I wanted to review those today so people have more awareness about some of the issues going on in Georgia politics currently. Particularly with regard to Georgia's 10th Congressional District. The congressman from the 10th District has been Jody Hice for the past several years, and he is resigning his Congress seat to run against Brad Raffensperger and challenge him for Secretary of State. If you want to see my analysis of Brad Raffensperger's job as Secretary of State, please review my Georgia election and voting law analysis. I've put that video in the link below. To replace and fill the seat that Jody Hice is vacating, Patrick Witt is running as the America First candidate. So I want to address both the Secretary of State race, Jody Hice's performance, as well as this newcomer, Patrick Witt, who hopes to fill in and replace Jody Hice in the 10th Congressional District for Georgia. My father likes Jody Hice. I want to preface the fact that my father's credibility for vetting Republican candidates based on who are his friends and who he likes has been deteriorating over the past few years. He has become much more reliable character judge in terms of thinking that people who are elected are doing good jobs. Jody Hice is someone my father thinks has done a great job as a congressman for Georgia. My father has a certain set of criteria that apparently he believes Jody Hice has met. For this reason, he likes Jody Hice's campaign for the Secretary of State. My father hosts a local Republican brunch where they invite candidates to speak to them about their platform. I have asked my father, he has invited Jody Hice. I have asked my father if Jody Hice does attend their brunch to discuss his campaign plans or his plans if elected for Secretary of State, to ask the question, if Trump calls Jody Hice and asks him to change election results, will he? This is the underlying core issue regarding Jody Hice's candidacy for Secretary of State, in my opinion. Last January, Jody Hice did not vote in favor of confirming the Electoral College votes from Georgia. That means that he voted to overturn my vote for president and for the senators from Georgia. He voted not to confirm the results that Brad Raffensperger had accredited after full audits several times. Since the job of the Secretary of State is to oversee how you conduct elections in the state of Georgia, Not having a track record of upholding election results, in my opinion, disqualifies someone from holding this job. It's a core job description. If you have shown a pattern and a history of not meeting that core job description, I do not want to hire you for a job that has that job description. It is as simple as that. So as I said, I'm not going to go over, again, a review of Brad Raffensperger's performance. You can reference my other video about that topic. I want to then progress to the vacancy of the congressional seat by Jody Hice's resignation and the hopeful for the future seat in Congress in this district. I happen to know Patrick Witt. I went to Yale and I was an athlete from Georgia. The population of people who are Yale alumni athletes from Georgia are not very large. Of the athletes I know from Georgia who are Yale alumni, I can count them on one or two hands. It's not a big population. I met Patrick Witt shortly after his graduation from Yale. He reminded me of several of the men that I went to high school with in Atlanta. I want to reference particularly former State Senator Hunter Hill was in high school with me at the same time, a year behind me. We had many of the same friends. He was a football player with many of our mutual friends who were particularly Black football players who went on to West Point in Annapolis and serve as officers in the U.S. military. When he challenged Kemp for the governor's race, Kemp did stoop to racial slurs in his campaign material. Hunter Hill has since stepped out of Republican politics in Georgia, which I largely attribute to his distaste for being asked to go outside of his ethical views on this matter, to insult close friends who we both admire and respect. This is the kind of expectation I have for somebody like Patrick Witt. So finding him running on an American First platform has become incredibly disappointing for me. When I viewed Patrick Witt's website, it became apparent to me that he had a big chip on his shoulder about his experience as a Yale student, something he has never discussed with me and I never knew until viewing his campaign website. He referred to overcoming media, the evil liberal media that wanted to destroy his life. And when I read that statement, I flagged it and I said, he was accused of sexual assault. I then Googled search results that affirmed this, which I'm sure was difficult. He was a rising star from Georgia, and this is why it's sad for me to see the path that his life has taken to arrive in this America First platform. I have dated and have known a lot of hotshots who went to Yale and Harvard and other places. I have dated several Olympic athletes, and sometimes they've had behavioral issues. I have also been sexually assaulted when I was 20, but not by the people on the list that I'm mentioning. Of the list of people I know who have been rising stars and hotshots as athletes at Ivy League schools and Olympic teams, out of that list, none of them have ever put me in a situation where I felt threatened or sexually assaulted, nor do I have any reputation of any woman I know of having those experiences with those men. So my heart goes out to Patrick Witt that he had to endure that his senior year. Um, Apparently, the coverage of it by the media did a botched job, and that would add trauma to an already stressful situation. However, as with my friends who have had some behavioral issues, what I would hope is that Patrick Witt, who moved home, I'm sure after all of that ordeal to recover, would have support to process that trauma and to process those wounds, to evaluate how he got into a situation where there was a woman who felt sexually assaulted, and to take responsibility for that. Since Patrick Witt is in this population of feeling akin to me and feeling like somebody I knew growing up, what I would prefer to see is support for Patrick Witt, and it grieves me to see Uncle Donnie taking him under his wing and saying, you are a victim here. You're right. I'm the only one who can understand what you went through. Those evil people out there tried to destroy your lives. Let me give you the chance you deserve. I live in Germany, where a whole generation of men had their pain manipulated for the benefit of a group who just wanted power. They spent the rest of their lives drinking themselves numb to avoid the PTSD of that experience. What I would hope for Patrick Witt is not to be elected on this platform of America First based on manipulation of his pain and further compounding his trauma from his past experiences. I have a lot of empathy for Patrick, having such a closely related story to his, but also feel a lot of pain seeing the direction he's taking. So these are two local Georgia state elections I'd like for the rest of the nation to know about, to draw more attention to be aware of the people involved in these elections and the better options I hope can represent Georgia voters. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Middle Ground. Like, subscribe, and follow if you like my content. Watch for more coming soon. Bye.